Good afternoon. We begin 13 News at 4 on this Monday with new information in the Delphi murders trial. Today, jurors saw graphic photos of the crime scene for the first time.
Now, the images are very graphic. Senior investigative reporter Bob Siegel is in Delphi right now. And Bob, you were in the courtroom as these images were shown.
Jurors were warned during opening statements that they would see bloody photographs and images from what the prosecutor described as a gruesome crime scene. Well, today was the day jurors got to see those images. Inside the Carroll County courtroom this morning, Indiana State Police crime scene investigator Jason Page methodically walked jurors through 43 photos he took at the crime scene. And we want to warn you, what we're about to talk about, it's very disturbing. The pictures include photos of Abby Williams and Libby German lying in the woods. Jurors could see the girl's throat slit. Libby's body was naked, her face covered in blood. Sergeant Page described and showed photos of a nearby spot by the bodies that, as he described, was saturated in the girl's blood. He explained how investigators did their work and the geography and terrain around the crime scene. Some jurors were visibly shaken. One put a hand over his mouth, and then he put both of his hands on top of his head as he saw the pictures. Another juror took slow, deep breaths, shaking her head as she saw the evidence. Abby and Libby's mothers, they were in the courtroom. They cried as the jury saw photos of their daughters. They turned away as several of the most graphic pictures were displayed on a large screen in front of the jury. We also heard from Carroll County Sheriff's Detective Darren Giancola, who was the first law enforcement officer to see the bodies at the crime scene. He explained how the bodies were not really visible from 30 to 40 yards away, and he told jurors he did not attempt any life-saving measures on Abby and Libby because, in his words, it was apparent they were deceased by the time he arrived. After a difficult morning of testimony and evidence, the judge allowed the jury to recess early for lunch. This afternoon, it's back to business with more witnesses and testimony. We'll tell you more about what they have to say coming up on 13 News at 5. In Delphi, Bob Siegel, 13 News.
All right, Bob. Yeah, difficult details to hear there. We're also breaking down testimony every weeknight at 10 o'clock and then at 9 a.m. after we re-air Sunrise on WTHR+. You can find our Delphi debrief on our streaming app through Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and Roku.
Well, right now, an investigation is underway after a person was found dead in a crash on the northeast side this morning. It happened around 3 a.m. on Benford Boulevard and Delmar Road. That's near 52nd Street. Fire crews tell 13 News they found a car covered in flames. So no other information on the crash has been shared by IFD. We do know that IMPD is taking over this investigation.
A new nonprofit group launched today on Indy's near north side with a really big goal in mind. It's called Indy Health District Incorporated.
And everybody involved is working to create healthier communities by addressing key socioeconomic and health disparities. Indianapolis area business executives, city leaders, and neighborhood associations gathered to announce the launch of Indy Health District, Inc. It is a 1,500-acre area that stretches from the north end of downtown Indianapolis to Crown Hill Cemetery. Projects include creating a dense, walkable community, encouraging active and healthy lifestyles, and increasing access to high-quality health care.
And I just want to emphasize how monumental this actually is. And keeping it in context, look, we've done tons of research just trying to figure out, because we didn't want to recreate the wheel, like where could we copy and paste? Unfortunately, there is no apples to apples comparison. So it speaks to, one, the spirit of Indianapolis and how collaboration is a really piece of the spirit here in the city. But two, even on top of what is already a part of the culture in Indy, is a willingness of our anchor institutions and the neighborhoods that make up the district to come together, row in the same direction to achieve an amazing purpose. This is really, really dope.
Organizers told us the Indy Health District, or IHD, was created because people were alarmed over census numbers showing the people who live around this area have a much lower life expectancy compared to other parts of the Indianapolis metro area.
Look forward to following the progress there, see how it goes. Election day now just over 2 weeks away, and more early voting centers are opening up this week across central Indiana. In fact, 6 additional satellite locations opened today for voters in Johnson County. People in Hendricks County will have more options starting Wednesday. Hamilton County will also add early voting to Westfield, Fishers, and Carmel on Wednesday. And Boone and Marion counties will be opening more satellite locations on Saturday.
Well, the luck of the Irish is coming to Indy International Airport.
It's a big announcement this morning.
Huge.
Starting next spring, you'll be able to catch a direct flight to Dublin, Ireland. State and local leaders made that announcement earlier today. Aer Lingus will be offering non-stop flights to Dublin 4 times a week starting in May. The flights will offer dual-class seats, including 16 in business class.
Your vacation begins once you board our aircraft. You will enjoy a warm Irish welcome from our people at all stages of your journey from check-in and especially on board. Our customers like to say you've arrived in Ireland before you even left the gate.
A warm Irish welcome. Does that include a Guinness, I wonder? Indy Airport Authority anticipates this new air service will bring in more than $50 million to Indiana's economy. Tickets start at $499, and we have a link. You can check it out at WTHR.com.
I like where you're going with that, Dustin.